Once we all together, that's when we gonna figure it out. I'll see what the consensus is.
Alright, well, welcome to Echoes of Grace. This episode's gonna be called whoa, let me restart that.
Oh, awesome.
This episode is going to be called The Church in Me. I've got here, I'm Jess.
I'm Hope.
Jay So Crazy.
Talia. Shalane. Sen.
Cool. And we're all just here to, initially I was having a game day. But, we didn't even bring a game card yet, we could have still played. I'm open all summer. This is where I'm at night. Anywho, I appreciate you all being here. This is not a knock or an attack at religion or church or anything like that. These are just personal experiences and, stories of all of us and our own experiences. We were all just talking earlier, and I was just like, oh, are you a believer? And it got into a loaded question, and I was like, oh, it's never mind. But I was just like, oh, do you believe that Jesus existed? That was all it was for real. And it was yeah, cool. So as long as we're on the same page there, we can kind of talk on the same ground, I guess. It's I'm just referring to the guy and that he existed. Some people don't believe he existed. That's just a different faith, and I absolutely appreciate different faiths as well, just because there's a reason why in a journey that they all went through to get to the levels of convictions and belief that they do have, and things like that. And personally, I grew up Roman Catholic. I didn't go to a Catholic school or anything. I was in public school, but I went to Sunday school, and I remember being a pretty good Sunday school student, meaning I know all my sacraments, I know all the commandments. There was a lot of structure. I don't recall being oh, you have to have a personal relationship with God, yes, confess your sins, but I never grasped oh, have a conversation with the guy, or whoever you want to call him. Sometimes my husband and I, we refer to him, or whatever you want to call it, as infinite intelligence, because there is something that knows everything that we don't. And no matter what, I think that if you believe you're here for more than just existing, that's already a good start and foundation. And I could never knock the Roman Catholic Church, as I was telling y'all earlier. It's just they laid the foundation to even move forward with Christianity. That opened up other denominations because they might not have agreed with what principles were being taught based off of the book. You feel me? We all got the same book, but I don't like how you read it. And that's kind of how it went from there, and that's pretty cool because no one's faith, even if they're in the same religion, is the same. Y'all can go to church every Sunday, read the same books, but your relationship is different with your faith, the same way your relationship with her is going to be different than your relationship with her, and vice versa, and all of that, So it's there's not a cookie cutter way to do it. And growing up in New York, it felt New York City felt very taboo to follow religion, just because everybody had one or didn't have one. And when you didn't have one, it was just as I said earlier, believing in Santa Claus but knowing nobody else believed in him. And it's oh. So side note, my dad is incarcerated. And he had asked me as I started my journey, because he's in jail in Texas, so they definitely push the Bible there at their prison systems. And it's not enough. They're just trying to give them something to lean on, a principle system, you know what I mean, a value system to think about. But he asked me, what do you think your biggest sin was or is? And I was
how old were you when you asked that question?
This was in the past year and a half. Because I started my journey for real in the end of 2021 when I met my husband on my 21st birthday in Vegas. Funny enough, in Sin City. And I guess not everything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but literally, I had sat there and I thought, because I was like, I'm not trying to get all judgy, you know? Like, it's very easy for us as humans to also become shameful. And it's just human nature. And I grew up in a lot of shame, and feeling a lot of shame and whatnot. So literally, I told him my biggest sin would have to be knowing God and not ever following Him. Because there is
it is a party back here.
Oh, hey, buddy! Welcome! Danielle, I need another chair! Alright, Danielle just joined the chat. You're not really in the cut, maybe?
Chat, she's on the floor.
Yeah,
Yes.
she'll make an appearance later, I guess. But yeah, I said it was to know God and not follow Him. And I didn't really grow up reading the books, so I couldn't tell you the order. They taught me a lot of structure, but not of the Bible. So as I started my own journey too, interestingly enough, I went to go see my old churches, because COVID happened, Zoom masses. So they had like live stream videos that they had saved. And I went to go check it out. And I'm going to find a video so I can actually like refer to it. But basically, they said, reading from so-and-so. I said, who? The flippity-flack is so-and-so. Because mind you, at this point, I was actually trying to dive into the Bible on my own. Because I didn't actually read it and everything like that. We had a lot of movies in school. Like, we watched Joseph. We watched the Noah's Ark bit. All of the animated religion movies. But, come on.
Oh,
Absolutely. And that's funny that you mentioned that because I was going to say why. But I was like, we did. Well, we did.
I'll have to show you later.
Yeah, you got to see it. We got to put a reference in it. I don't know what Veggie Tales is. We finna show you. But I got to find that video, too, that they would show us. Because now it's like, why were they showing us Veggie Tales?
Your job to trust that he'll do what he says.
I'm sorry, but you've just got the wrong guy.
God never chooses the wrong guy.
Well, this time he made a mistake.
God never makes mistakes.
Not once. Not one single mistake in all of recorded history?
Never! Though, as far as I'm concerned, the jury's still out on spiders.
Understand, I'm not saying I'll do it, but if I did, I'd need a sign first.
A sign?
I've got to know, absolutely, positively, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that God is in this.
Me you believe, but from God you need a sign? Oh! Hit it, boys. You can trust that God exists. Just open up your eyes. Did it all with no assist. Don't tell me you're surprised. He made the stars,
There's no doubt.
sun and moon,
Gotta shout.
the universe.
Inside out.
Do not doubt he's real, my friend, just because he can't be seen. Like the breeze blowing through the trees, he's working in a screen. Solar system's kinda big, but it fits inside his hand. He cares for you, and so it's true. You can trust the great I am.
Say what?
You can trust the great I am. So what'll it be, Gideon? What kind of a sign do you need before you'll trust God? Do you want time to go backwards? Mountains to fall down? Talking vegetables to tell Bible stories?
No, I'm thinking I'll lay out a small piece of lamb's wool on the ground. Then, tomorrow morning, if the wool is wet, but the ground around it is dry, I'll know God is in this.
Crazy man.
I don't even remember the story. Maybe they
Yeah,
was
but I
telling us
remember
about
the veggies.
kindness or
The
something.
Bible, they would tell Bible stories. And
Yeah,
I
they
never
were?
watched it, but I
They
saw it.
definitely did.
It wasn't Chuck E. Cheese.
It was?
It was. Whoa, I didn't go to Chuck E. Cheese a lot. I went to Mohegan Sun Kids
Chuck E. Cheese here?
I went to Mohegan Sun's Kids Quest. That's what I would do. That was my Chuck E. Cheese when I was younger.
How old are you? What Chuck E. Cheese?
Kids Quest at the
I
Mohegan
don't-
Sun.
I remember
Never
them
been to
place,
Mad
though.
No, yeah,
Really?
no more to
No, I had not.
shit.
Bessie Tails.
Ooh, excuse me. Cursing. God, I'm not perfect. Anyway. But yeah, we were watching all the videos. I remember talking about read Genesis 1. Why don't we go to
I
church?
tried.
Like, what? But the thing is, like, as I watched the video, I literally went to the Bible, and I have it virtual too, so it's easy to find the chapters and the books. I typed in the name. I said, what is the name? I can't even spell it. Like, what did you just say? I was like, mind you, at my church, we change books every season. It's not the Bible. It's literally excerpts that they choose with hymns and whatnot, cut in there, different prayers that are old, like the Apostles' Creed always in the back, things like that. And each page had like different days. Like this was
that's
gonna be,
interesting.
it was like
And that was
for
a
every
church?
Sunday.
It's like devotional type.
Tight.
What denomination was it?
It was Roman Catholic, and they do like devotional. Like they would do. So basically, the structure was a lot of like talking around it. I don't remember a lot. Like sometimes it would be a casual one, so they would have like someone that wasn't the priest come up and do the story. No, they never do the story. They do the parable that they're reading, and they'll read the parable or the excerpt from whatever acts and whatever verses. And then there's a part afterwards where they can talk about basically like a devotional, what that passage was about, different things to take from it. And then they would talk about like a personal connection to like current day, maybe the news, things like that. And then we would go into on our knees prayers, and then singing prayers, and then another like anecdote type of story or another parable, and then you do the Apostles' Creed, and then you receive the blood in the body. And then like 30 minutes, within 30 minutes you're done. So I was only in church for like an hour 45, 2 hours at max. So it wasn't even a long.
Is there like worship before the service starts?
Like there's music playing.
But not like
Like if you sing along, you know the words, yeah. Like they have the lyrics in the book too. So like the structure was a little bit more structured. Like very like different parts. Like I've gone to a non-denominational church out here where it's worship first, then you do the kind of like, hey, regrouping of what's going on, and then we're connecting it to the Bible, and then we're kind of regrouping that back to tying it all together, and then singing the book, which is cool. I like that because it gives me what I'm looking for, direct references from the Bible.
When you were describing that, like how the things that they were going through, I imagined it as long dimensional type. It's like
Yeah.
they're like square.
Yeah.
Lines, square.
Like you have to go do this to do this to do that.
Yeah.
I'm hard.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Yes, we are. Glory be.
Here.
I'm leaving.
Well, I guess we here. Oh, we here. Yeah, we here. Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Let's rekindle here.
Let's get into it.
Are you the host? So obviously had a minor change in not environment, but attendance.
Oh, yes. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
less is more.
no, it's okay. Everything's good. Everything's
All
good.
is well. You got the big
Everything's
portion, and now we're going micro.
Yeah, we're getting into
So you're
it,
capturing
yeah.
both, which is great.
All right. So we did talk about this a lot, though.
Okay.
We have talked about these things.
We get into it.
You and me have talked about this, especially because you have grown up in the church, in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Danielle is like the polar opposite for me, because she's like the closest thing I've had for the female version of my husband, And not even like, oh, where she acts like him, just in the sense where I can understand more culturally the differences, because I'm Dominican and Filipino. My mom was born in New York, and I grew up with my great grandparents as well, and everything like that. Let's move this a little out the way so it's not in your face. But yeah, like you were in the Word, have been in the Word. You're someone that can actually like be like, oh, I do know that verse if you hear something that reminds you of something. Whereas like I can like be like, oh yeah, I know that story. And I think that even like rolls over into how I would think. Because like I told you, when I was like in nursing school, pre-nursing or whatever, all of the systems make sense to me. I would say I'm very much a person that can see a lot of different sides to things. So when I look at systems and how they can be affected and the other party can be effective, I can see how those all work, like, you know, in hand at the same time. So when it came down to like the anatomy, I was like, yeah, this makes sense, but I wasn't able to recall for word. Like, recollection is not my strong suit. And so even with the Word, like, I got verses I like, but I really had to study them if I want to remember them. And I had to like learn them after, because like I've been taking this journey on my own, you know, like not on my own, but like for my own meaning. You know, like this relationship that I'm building with God, it's not alone, obviously, and I'm never alone. Yeah, obviously this episode is titled The Church and Me, and I disclaimed in the beginning that, just to catch you up, that this is not an attack on the church. It's not an attack on any faith or religion. I don't personally follow a religion. I follow Jesus Christ and I read the Bible. But my experience is just what I've been referring to, and I like to, you know, have these conversations as well, and points where you may share different experiences you may have had and sense like that. But yeah, like I said earlier, I was a good Catholic school student in Sunday school. I said Catholic school, Sunday school. And having the whole talk to God, have a personal relationship with Him, He is your Father, was not really pushed on me. And I followed church, okay? Like, I went into preschool, was in Catholic school for that first year. Then I started Sunday school by the time, first, second grade, to go in alignment with the sacraments. And I confirmed, and I truly, truly did mean that. Because I've had my own unrefutable experiences with God, but it just was like, I was too scared to not believe in Him rather than to have the faith and conviction that He does exist. And that was a very big difference for me, because in my upbringing, it's like a lot of the things that you think of, it's like, how can you ask me to go, you know, get some values, and then like the first thing we think of is the first thing that goes wrong. The extremes are something that I do struggle with in that sense, because it's like, I've always been like a highly sensitive person, like very emotional, things like that. I felt very in tune and convicted by different things, nature and whatnot. And so it was like, people always tell me like, oh, like you should talk, like, you know, like things like that, like your voice, like they love talking to me and having the conversations, but my family would be the ones to tell me to quiet down. And like, how did we send me to Sunday school and we go to church every Sunday, but we have this big old prayer above the kitchen table and we don't pray before we eat. Like, I pray before I eat now, like every time, just to express gratitude. It's not even like, oh, I need to pray. No, it's because I'm thankful I have this plate. And I only started that meeting Mo because he did it. So he, having done it, showed me that he had enough conviction and strength to follow in his own faith and beliefs, because like growing up in New York City, and a lot of the time, not just New York City, but nowadays, it's that we have to we have to be more open to everything, but we're so much more sensitive to the things that we're not in alignment with as individuals at times, and there's a lot of like groupthink with that, I believe. But the point I was initially making with that is just like, yeah.
I think when we talk about, so I heard you bring up a couple different points, and I want to address them kind of in order to some degree, but the church and me, right? So as she was saying, I have a different experience than Jess because I went to Catholic schools and Christian schools and whatnot, all the way up until like high school. High school was probably the first time, besides one other time, that I went to like a secular school. Yeah. So it was like, you know, being in the Word.
Public school,
being in the Word and different things is like, I don't know, you hear a lot of that, like, I want to say, I guess the approach is like fear-based faith over love-based faith.
Oh my goodness, that's exactly where we were.
That's
exactly where we were. Keep going, because I want to hear what you have to say.
In terms of like fear-based love, to some or fear-based, whatever I said, it's basically like we're all taught that we're sinners. You know what I'm saying? And so you have this approach where it's like, I am less than. Rather, where the love-based approach would show you that, like, I am a child of God. You know, I am the most highest, most precious, you know what I'm saying, entity, you know? So, like, instead of coming from it from the angle of, like, you know what I'm saying, oh, I'm the sinner and beat myself down. Like, we have to be very intentional, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, and it's hard for me, personally, be like on the opposite end of the spectrum. Like sometimes I wish I had a little less programming, if that makes sense. Like I love the Word and I love the doctrine, but there's so much that comes with it. And like when you're on that journey to develop a relationship, when you're on a journey with the Most High, like I personally, and I don't know if people are familiar with this terminology or not, but I consider myself to be a Christian mystic. Because it's like, for me, it's very experiential. You know what I'm saying? I heard you mention that you had irrefutable experiences with the divine, you know what I'm saying, with the Most High. And I have experienced that as well. And so it's like, it's not just about the, you know, these big, you know, beautiful experiential moments, but it's about the relationship. You know what I'm saying? That one-to-one. Like, I can go to God and talk to Him because He knows me. We know each other. Like
that's what I was explaining before you came in earlier too. Because like I was saying, like with what you were saying, there's a lot of fear and faith. And one of the things that Mo and I, my husband, had to really like work on in the beginning, because I noticed that I was lost. I noticed that I did leave, and the reality why I left after getting confirmed was because, why am I falling asleep in church? Like, I would not want to put myself here in this position. I already punished myself with the shame of being here and struggling. Am I not faithful enough? Am I not paying enough attention? Like, having a lot of those shameful thoughts as well. And then, like, you know, with the extremes of fear and faith, like, yes, you can simplify a lot of things. Where it's like, does that thought serve you or does it not? That's fear and faith-based thinking.
Yes.
Like, does that serve you or does it not? Is that for you or is that against you?
Is it calling you towards your higher self? You know what I'm saying? Is it bringing you in closer proximity to the connection with the Most High? Right. With the divine.
Right, because like that's where I didn't have that growing up in whatever church I was in, because it wasn't like, oh, talk to God every day. And I was like, make sure you come to church next week. And then afterwards, every other every month in the beginning we have like treats before or after. You can't have it before because you need to not eat before you have the blood and body of Christ. Get fast. But but you can't have that. That's like disrespectful because he's supposed to be feeding you. Type of thing for me. So with my family as well with the church, it was
I
like,
want to be careful. I don't want this to burn.
oh yeah, ready? Shift it. Thank you. It is like a metal.
So it's not going to be too much to
No, it's just gonna leave the ash on. Okay, we're cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
But with my family, it's funny because like raised to be a people pleaser, which means that you are pleasant, that you are kind, and that you reserve your thoughts or opinions. Really, you reserve your opinions that are ill. You reserve your ill opinions. So basically, like simplify it, you're not allowed to like show that you don't like someone. And with me, I considered, as I went through like therapy and this journey on my own, like I was a sponge that took everyone else's experiences and opinions and advice and everything like that, and I didn't squeeze out what I didn't need. I didn't bring it out. And so like there's a lot of unsolicited opinions that I do believe, like different beliefs that I do have that aren't my own. So I had to really like, now I have to really, take that time to affirm that faith and that love of like, yes, I am a child of the King, the most worthy, of the most almighty. And like, that's why I do believe that whenever anyone takes a faith journey, I always encourage them, no matter like what religion it is that you're like came from or what you're looking into, take the journey on your own and listen to what calls you twice. Like, don't just let it be like the one thing that sticks with you the one time and then it's like backed up by what someone else says. Like, no, like there's a conviction to the principle that you read that made you hear it. And like my personal thing was like, I could hear it and then hear it a different way the next time. And that's why I do really value like the Bible and Christ, because like the word is living and the interpretations are meant to shift and change, just like the world. Like the different things that are expressed are parables and principles. It's not like you have to do this or you'll die, I'm going to send you straight to hell. Like, that's never been the case. He wants to make sure that you are good. And I mean, the thing is, he can't make sure you stay good. And you never were born, like, but the thing is, we were always good.
I think that there's two, like, because some people look at it as like, oh my gosh, there's rules and things that you have to follow, and with that. But parents who love their children establish structure.
Right.
And what we forget is that we as humans, as free and expansive as we want to be, we still need structure. That's a part of the almost childlike part of ourselves still looks up to that structure. And so many people don't know really how to create or find that structure in their lives. But you can go into the Word and the structure is there. Word. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, I love that you said the Word is living. You know what I'm saying? This is, it's not just some static, stale document.
That's where everybody's deficit is. That's the fallback. Especially when it comes to religion. Because you're listening to how someone has taught it over and over again. The same way, like, generational curses occur. We're not supposed to just think of it the same way. And honestly, like, this was a point I've been wanting to make as well. Like, when I started my journey, Mo and I, we really spent some time, and it's funny enough, listening to a podcast called The Bayma Project. And it is actually ran by a rabbi. And he isn't your typical, like, Jewish rabbi. He is still a traditional in the sense of, like, he does do the teachings and things, but I think what it was called is Messianical Judaism. So they believe in the Messiah.
Oh.
But they still follow what the Israelites first did. Which I still appreciate. Because it's like we're still utilizing what was set first. Like, you know, that traditional, generational thing.
It's like there's it's like for me, I want balance, though. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like, yes, we have these sometimes antiquated systems, you know, or rituals.
Like, I appreciate the Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, go commend y'all. Like, I can't do without a birthday.
But when the ritual becomes like mechanical is when I have certain question marks.
Intentionality.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
absent-mindedness.
Yes, you want to be fully present. You know, when you're
alive,
praying, or when you're engaging with the Most High.
While you're here,
like
while you're here on this earth,
it's like I don't want to just do things because this is how I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah, like when you play a video game, do you want to be the like have extra automated like help? Some people do, and some people do not. And then some people also want the codes that help them get ahead quicker. There are different types of people. Yeah, and that's okay. I like to call that other people's mistakes. Learning from them. Yeah. So it's like, no, do not learn from other people's way of belief and thinking, because your relationship, like we were saying, is your own.
But that's why it's so important to have, you know what I'm saying? I think that ability to get in the Word and Scripture, like you have to see for yourself. Yeah. Because everybody has their own interpretation, their own ideology, their own application and whatnot. But until you read that word for yourself, and I'm not saying like, oh, read the whole Bible. You know, start with a verse, start with a chapter, start somewhere, start anywhere. But once you get into that that word or whatever, and you see for yourself, you can come to your own conclusions. Yeah. Like I'm all about critical thinking. And when I was in school, funny enough,
you had to citate, remember?
This was when I was in high school. I was at secular school, whatnot, and we got this book, and it was called The Bible as Literature. I don't know if you're familiar, you ever heard of anything like that.
Absolutely not.
But it looks at the Bible and the Bible stories in a different context. How you will, and it arose a lot of feelings in me because I'm very familiar with the Word, with Scripture. So to hear a different take on it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like it was from the perspective of like okay, just take the Genesis story. So in the Bible as literature, it was talking about how, well, why wouldn't God want them to have knowledge and different things like that?
It gave one point of thinking rather than open thinking. I don't like it. I know. That's what I really appreciated about, in contrast to that, with the Bema Project. Okay. Because when you are in, from my understanding and what he has said, in Judaism, that you are meant to ask questions. You are supposed to ask questions. So that's why the Word is always living for them too. You know what I mean? Like, how does this apply?
But even like in the Scripture, when we talk about like, I don't know if you're familiar with Doubting Thomas, and how they labeled him Doubting Thomas because he asked questions, and it's like if you look deeper, sometimes it's not necessarily about doubt, it's about gaining understanding. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's
confrontational. It is confrontational to even, address and open your mouth to ask those questions.
But I think the Word is designed to be confrontational. Yeah. It's designed to confront your spirit. Yeah. Whatever's going on, you're like, here's the, when I tell you,
don't kill someone. You killed someone, man. Let's talk about how this other person that didn't get to live as long as you is like, struggling and is still grateful for the life they have. Like, show you a different way. Like, it's not even about, I'm trying to change how you're thinking. It's more just like, here's another option if you're open when you're reading, because it's just shown to you. It's not even like designed. Well, it is designed to show you something, but it's not structurally designed to be like, question at the end, what did you take away?
What I call that is the difference between linear versus lateral thinking.
I like that.
And linear thinking can sometimes be lifeless. Whereas lateral thinking is fully immersing yourself in the issue, in the present, in the problem moment, to dissect it, to understand what's actually going on, to create a thorough response, not a reaction. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah.
linear thinking can be very reactionary, whereas I like to be preemptive.
Yeah, that was what I was.
Preventative.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Like
saying?
you want to be proactive, to
It's
be
like
honest.
defensive driving versus
No, you're
like,
gonna be proactive.
yeah.
Like I love that you were saying that because dang, every time I look at you, I forget what I'm gonna say. But
We're having too much fun, guys.
before what were we talking about?
Preventative.
Whatever. Before that.
We're talking about linear versus lateral thinking.
Right? And you said a keyword that made me think of something else afterwards. Lateral thinking is reactive. So the point I was going to add on to emphasize that was, excuse me, was that, is an example. When you go to the doctor and they say, oh, like, the medicine's not reacting well, that's scary. That's scary.
Yeah, that's scary.
When it says the medicine's not responding well, there's space for other things that aren't so scary. Like, that one's not working, let's try a different one. Like, that reaction versus responding is very, it changes the tone, changes the mood, even just that, changing the word. Because when you react, and you're saying, oh, it's not reacting well, you have the chance to react. Like, now you got feelings, and your feelings are based off the thought, and the thought was that you feel me, so that's the whole rabbit hole. We can take another rabbit hole if you want, that can lead to a solution, though. So it's not necessarily a rabbit hole anymore. It's collective.
It's a path forward.
Yeah, trying to figure out how to move forward, how to alleviate, how to solve, and things like that. And I think that's very important too. You know, like, and I love the word for that because like we do have lamentations where it's like we're literally like disdain and pain, and like we're just like, this sucks. This sucks. And that's okay. It really comes down to how we respond to our environment and those things like that. Like currently in therapy, I'm reading Mind Over Mood, and that's a CBT-based therapy workbook. The one that we were reading, right?
Cognitive behavioral therapy, yes.
Yeah,
That's
the one that I let
CBT class.
The one I showed you the other day. And the point of example was, you're in line at the grocery store and it's a really long line. You can go a multitude of different like reactions and responses. So it really comes down to your thoughts and how you allow them to maneuver. And that's where a lot of the fear and the faith-based thinking came into play for me, as well as like thinking about that, as well as the fruits of the spirit and like wanting to be of those because those came from him, and if it's not those, then what am I doing type of thing. And he tells us not to be anxious, tells us not to be not to worry. But in the example given, the person was like, oh, they should hire another person. Why is the line so long? The other person, and like that just opens, you know, the law of attraction to, you know, potentially complain of other people on the line.
Complaining is just.
Yeah, and then the other alternative was that the other guy on the line was like, oh, hold on, I got time. Like, I'm chilling. I could be patient. And he could just choose to be patient. And then just, I'm here. I'm glad they're even open.
Rush.
Yeah.
Reality.
Yeah, and it's okay to be irritated or have a something come up that is, what do you say? an inconvenience.
Agitating.
You feel me? But it is not. I love the picture that's been going around on social media. Don't let the one red dot turn your whole day into the whole red day. Like, your dots the whole day are yellow, and then you get one bad irritation, and now the whole rest of your day is red.
Red.
Just because of that. Like, that means you give a lot of power to your feelings. That's okay, I guess.
No.
Because you can also say, like, people that go to the gym and are disciplined give a lot of power to their feelings, but I don't think they feel like going to the gym.
It's not about, discipline is not, it's not motivation.
It's not. Motivation is fleeting. That is a feeling. To have accumulate motivation is impossible. You can feel motivated because of something causing and affecting, but you cannot tangibly receive motivation. There's not a let me get this. Yeah. Like, I can give you inspiration, and then you feel inspired. I cannot give you motivation. I can help you feel motivated.
Right.
Like, I feel like a lot of us don't. Like, that's why I like to say I'm not fluent in any language, because I'm American, and I'm not even very good at English. Like, we're not very good at English in America. If we looked at how we speak or spoke, we would see that a lot of the faults are in our words, which are from our thoughts.
Well, I hate to use that, that terminology that everybody talks about. Oh, you're casting spells over yourself. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this, like, there's a reason why we're instructed to pray. There's a reason why we're instructed to verbalize or to confess our sins. You know what I'm saying?
It's like
different things like that.
It's an alleviation too.
And so it's like when we're speaking, you know what I'm saying? I'm always, even when I'm talking with another person, my conversation is really with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in omnipresence. God is everywhere.
How can He use me?
God is everywhere, but it's not. It's like as simple as that. Like I like, even when I'm overhearing conversations or different things, I'm using it all as material. I think I take nothing for granted in my life. That there's no chance out here. So if there's no chance, that means that everything that crosses my path or comes my way was designed for me to take something away from it. So in that, you know what I'm saying, in that context, in that lens, it's like when I'm speaking, I understand the power of the tongue. I speak positivity, I speak life, and no, I'm not always perfect. You know what I'm saying? I can get down on myself or feel sad or angry or different things at times, but it's like I'm very intentional about the words that I'm using because everything is being recorded. It says that everything is written down. I will be held accountable for whatever and anything that comes out of my mouth. And when you think about it like that, it's like, okay, what am I really like saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, so many. I was just having this conversation with myself earlier, where it was like, why XYZ when you could remain silent?
Why react when you can choose to respond by not responding? Right. That's a good one there. But I wanted to add one real, like, vital point that I know she can add on to after this. But basically, in the foundation and the lay of my journey, my husband and I, who was also already familiar with this book, we spent time diving in and listening to the 4 agreements. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, get to know it, or don't, honestly. But I was so convicted that I, like, shared it with everyone I knew. I shared even just, like, 3-minute video summaries, so, like, if their attention couldn't hold it, that they would at least hear it. Because I wanted to at least let them hear or grasp any of it, because it was so convicting. Like, as we've continuously said, it's been very thematic. We like to be intentional with our actions and our words. Not that we're perfect or that we do it every time, but in motivation and intention, we would like to be at most times in control of our words, mind, and feelings, and our body. So it's like, be intentional. is one of the principles of the 4 agreements. The other is may your word be impeccable, in alignment with that. Because literally, it was like the first chapter, and it talked about how your word is magic, and your word can be black magic or white magic in a sense, good or bad, because your word holds weight. And the example they gave was that a child was singing. Her mother had just came home from a long day at work, and she had a piercing migraine. And she was singing, little girl, and I guess mom was irritated, and she was like, "Shut up! You're so annoying! Like, you have the worst voice ever!" Blah 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 blah. Just said a lot of mean things. Reacted unwell. And that little girl decided to not sing again. And I related to that, because I was often told to hush. But I just want to leave that there. Obviously, there's been some interruptions, but my camera is dying. But I just wanted to say that in the midst of all of this, to wrap it up, get some principles that you line up with. Find out which principles line up with you most, and go from there. Embark your journey to the best you, and whoever that is, and what that looks like. So, until next time, be blessed.